All right, guys, impress me. That's the that's the number one thing going through my head right now. It is 9 o'clock at night, Sunday night, so about 24 hours from now, we're going to have a much better idea of the kind of team that we have. 24 hours from now, we're going to know if this team is gearing up for a playoff run or scrapping and fighting just to squeak in. And it's it's a very weird spot for us to be in as a team because this team made a couple of big trades before and during this season in order to win right now. This team came into the season even before those trades with high expectations, and now here we are. We're 6-3. We are, if the playoffs started right now, we would be in them. If we win, we'll be leading our division, but nothing feels too great right now. For starters, let's start with the elephant in the room, which is the injury report of this team, which was even longer than I thought it was going to be. Richard Sherman, he's out for the year. We know that for a fact now. Richard Sherman not going to be playing for us again this year. Cam Chancellor, he had a surprise neck injury at the end of the game last Thursday, and as it turns out, he's probably not going to play for the rest of the season. Jerron Reed's injury ended up being much worse than I expected. Ditto for Dwayne Brown. Neither of them practiced very much this week. They might not play tomorrow. We won't know until kickoff. That is one of the cornerstones of our run defense and front line and our best offensive linemen. I'm not even going to get into all the people who showed up on the injury report and are probably going to play, but we're crossing our fingers all the same. It's ugly. I was hoping really badly that the extra half a week off was going to allow us to come back for Monday Night Football tomorrow and feel a lot better about the state of our roster because we'll be getting some of these players back. The opposite happened. I feel worse than I thought it was going to. I didn't think we were going to lose Cam for the year. I didn't think Reed and Brown were in a position where they might miss a game, which is looking like a very real possibility. It's tough, and excuse me. Basically, I'm looking at this team right now. I'm looking at this roster, which is missing players all over the place, and I'm saying do something to impress me. Because I'm just going to say it, guys. Tomorrow night, we're playing at home. We're playing a above-average Falcons team. They're not that great. Maybe they're not even that good. It doesn't feel good. I don't feel very optimistic about this game, and I think a lot of Seahawks fans know what I'm talking about. I should be licking my chops at a game like this. It's revenge for the playoffs last year. It's an offense that has fallen off a cliff from last year. It's a team that has lost to the Dolphins, that basically got shut out in New England. It's not a great Falcons team, but the Legion of Boom, we've got one guy from the Legion of Boom left in Earl Thomas, and he's just coming back from an injury, so we all have to just pray that nothing bad happens to him because he came back too fast. I don't think that's the case, but it's on the table. Defensive line, guys up there are dinged up, and we might be flat out missing one of the key pieces. Offensive line, which seemed like it was finally starting to shift into gear. Now we don't know who we're going to have up there. I mean, we know that Luke Jokel is not going to be back yet. He'll probably be back in a week or two, but he's not going to be back tomorrow, which is, the important thing right now. A bunch of other people showed up on the injury report with minor things that I don't think it's going to keep them out of the game or anything, but it's not impossible that it could linger on into the game. So it's tough to feel like we can win tomorrow. It's tough to feel optimistic about much of anything right now with this team for the rest of the year. I can't remember the last time I felt like this. A home game, primetime football, extra half a week to prepare, mediocre at Falcons opponent, and I don't know. I don't know how we stop Julio Jones with no Richard Sherman. I don't know how we stop Atlanta's tight ends with no Cam Chancellor. I don't know about our run defense if we don't have Chancellor and we don't have Reed. I don't know about our offensive line with no Dwayne Brown, possibly and definitely no Luke Jokel. I don't know, guys. All I know about this team, what they have. I know they have great linebackers. I know they have very good defensive ends. A few of them showed up on the injury report. I'm not worried about it, but I know they have a good front line. Even if they don't have Jerron Reed, they still have a very talented front line out there. I know that we have a great quarterback, and I know we have great pass catchers. That's it, guys. The only good news that came out of the extra half a week that we had is that Chris Carson might come back in December. So that's the one good thing that shined through this off week we had, and that's not going to even matter for another 3 weeks probably, maybe even more. It might never matter. It could just be a, wishful thinking, but that would be a welcome addition to this roster right now. But for the moment, like I said, it was a long week off that we got. It was an extra half a week, like I said. I wanted to come back and make a video where I was talking about all the good things that happened. Shit got worse. And basically, I need the guys that we have that we know are good to impress the hell out of me. Offense, this is real now. We cannot have games where the offense doesn't do anything for the first half. Okay, I mean, in years before, we would have those games, and we would lose a game or two, and it would just be like, oh, well, we would have gone 14-2, but now we're only going 12-4. We would have gone 13-3, but now we're only going 10-6. This year, it's the difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. The offense has to produce. I'm going to keep going back to it. Like I said, the way they produced at the end of the 2015 season, when Wilson was, again, the best player in football. Throwing it to Baldwin, Curse, Jimmy Graham, and then Jimmy Graham got hurt, and then he was thrown to Luke Wilson, and then he was thrown to Tyler Lockett. It didn't matter. It didn't matter who he was throwing to. He was the best player in football for 7 games that year. We have to have that back. So that's number one. I mean, this week, Pete Carroll was saying that he wants this team to get back to running the ball. Look, I want this team to score points. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if Russell Wilson throws the ball 80 times tomorrow night. I don't care if we don't run a single running play the whole game. Score points, basically. So if in 24 hours from now, if I'm sitting here forced to talk about a game in which the team ran the ball 22 times for 40 yards, I'm going to be really, really irritated because we don't have time for that now. We cannot count on the defense to bail us out anymore. Our secondary is decimated. Our pass rush is not exactly what we thought it was going to be. We cannot count on our defense to bail us out anymore. We've lost games in the past where we counted on our defense to bail us out and they couldn't get it done. Now, you think they're going to be able to do it? Now, when they're missing their number one cornerback, their strong safety, possibly a couple other players. If at the end of this season the Seahawks don't make the playoffs, and I'm looking back at a few games where the offense just never got it going, and they were just hoping that the defense would keep them around so that they could score at the end of the game and hopefully win, and it just didn't work out one way or the other, that's going to be the kind of stuff that makes me think we need some new minds in our coaching staff. Because right now I'm looking at a bunch of minds on this coaching staff that just don't understand modern football and don't understand this roster. So yeah, offensively, if you have to abandon the run, do it. Throw the ball 80 times. I don't care. Let Wilson be Wilson, and let's win or lose the game on him if that ends up being what needs to happen. Defensively, we need to see the pass rush come alive more than it has this whole season. The pass rush has been good so far this year. I need to see superhuman shit because Shaquille Griffin or Jeremy Lane or Deshaun Shed, or, well, not Shed yet, but whoever we put on Julio Jones, that's not fair for those guys. Those guys cannot handle that. Don't leave them out, hanging out to dry. I need to see superhuman shit from the pass rush. I need to see superhuman shit from the linebackers. That's the strength of the team now. Unquestionably, linebackers are the strength. They need to play like it. And basically, you can count me among the Seahawks fans who are doubting this team's ability to win the division right now. I need to see the guys that we have, who I know are great, to be great. And I know they can do it. We got a little bit of help today. The Rams lost, the Cowboys lost. Let's make it count. And if we drop this game, I cannot say I have any optimism going forward for the playoffs. So let's do it. Let's go. I'll be here tomorrow night making a video. About to go live on PS4. We're doing Separate Ways on Resident Evil 4. Might finish it tonight. Come check me out. See you guys later.